was insane. This was like a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Today I am working with Master Pyro Steve, who is coordinating a huge fireworks show, and he's going to let me light the opening salute. These are dangerous explosives, so hopefully everything goes smoothly. We got there around 4 p.m. for a show that started at 9 p.m. So they spent about 5 hours prepping. For today's show, the largest firework that we're shooting off is 4 inches, which was still about the size of a grapefruit. So they're not small fireworks.
We used to shoot 16s.
16 inches?
16 inch in diameter. So you have 3 inch, 4 inch.
Oh my gosh.
To a tennis ball.
What does that even look like in the sky?
Usually they're pretty incredible.
I can't even imagine how huge those must be, because the fireworks that we saw today, I was looking up at them, and as they were exploding, it was going out of my field of vision. That's how close we were to these fireworks. So I can't even imagine what a 16-inch firework looks like up close. How many fireworks are you guys shooting off today?
445.
445.
445.
So 445 fireworks in 12 minutes.
In 12 minutes.
The show we're seeing today is over 400 fireworks in just 12 minutes. The show that they shot yesterday was 3,200 fireworks in 24 minutes. And they're lighting every single firework.
This is kind of what it is. So this is down here, this is where the lift charge goes.
Okay.
This is the shell, the actual shell that has the effects.
Okay.
So when this breaks open, that's all the stars and the patterns and the colors.
There's red, there's blue, there's green, there's purple. The firework colors are determined by the different metals that they put inside the explosive. So they have these long tubes that act as the canister for these fireworks. Each rack had about 10 fireworks in 2 lines, and they start the setup by inserting one of the actual explosives, and there's a really long fuse. It's probably maybe 1.5 feet, 2 feet long, and they string the fuse out of the fireworks so that it's ready for them to light and duck away so they're protected. And they can reuse these tubes. They reuse them multiple times. They have a pretty long shelf life as long as they keep them nice and clean and check them after each show. The tubes act kind of like the chamber of a gun. So you load your firework into these tubes, and that's what shoots the fireworks up into the right direction. It's really important that the 3-inch fireworks go in the 3-inch tubes and the 4-inch fireworks go in the 4-inch tubes, because it creates the proper seal. If it's too tight or too loose, it's gonna cause big problems for the show. One of the biggest hazards is a firework that goes off too early. Sometimes for whatever reason, they won't project into the air. They'll actually explode in the tubes, which can be a really scary scenario. It can be very dangerous.
They're small balls of explosives. That's why we wear what we wear. That's why we have, the good tubes, the good equipment. Fire prevention comes out, they inspect us, we have city permits. Everybody knows what we're doing out here, so that if something happens, they know how to react to it.
They take safety very seriously, as you can imagine. They're not messing around with it. Everything they do is about making sure this show goes off safely. They have a fire marshal there to check everything out, make sure everything's regulated, and then the guys themselves also take safety really seriously. We had to wear these crazy glasses, we wore earplugs, we wore face masks, they gave me socks to put on. I had closed-toed shoes. Closed-toed shoes are another thing, but I also had to wear these really hilarious socks that went up my leg to make sure that no ash could touch my skin. Oh, and a long sleeve shirt. How many times have you burned yourself?
Generally, I think I get a burn at about every show.
Really?
You get little burns from just all this debris. I mean, when this explodes in the sky, that debris comes back down. Who's got a shirt from last night?
This is like little pellet holes. Mm-hmm. This is horrifying. Yeah, they showed us their shirts, and they all have little burn marks in them. I wanted them to all line up at the end of the show so we could see all the little pock marks in their shirts. It was insane how much damage their shirts take. Of course, they do this so that the shirts take the damage and not their skin.
4th of July is not something that just happens for us.
Yeah.
You have to order these shells well in advance. 6, 7, sometimes 8 months in advance. We had the big 4th of July show last night. We'll start talking about that probably here in 2 or 3 weeks, what we're gonna do next year.
Wow.
New ideas. You'll look at the internet to see what everybody else did. We could either use their idea here or adapt it to fit what we do here, and then look and see what it's gonna take to do it.
The show is set up like a dance, so every fireworks station has its own setup that's designed to make the show flow easily and seamlessly so that they can get timing right. Some fireworks shows these days are automated, so you could just push a button and they'll shoot off into the air, no problem. This show is not that. These guys are up close and personal, lighting each firework by hand with a road flip. When we started the actual show, all the lights went out, so it was pitch black. We had just tiny little flashlights to operate by, and then the countdown started. There was a walkie-talkie, someone directing the show, and they start the countdown. 5, 4, 3, and that's when my heart just started racing. And I lit that blowtorch and stepped back and just watched it go. It was just a total rush of adrenaline. I wasn't expecting to be so nervous about the whole experience, I guess. It's a very safe environment, but there's always danger that's associated with this job. And when someone hands you a blowtorch and tells you to go light a firework, a huge firework, it's a little bit intimidating. Watching the actual show happen, it was like watching someone in the middle of a war zone. These guys are surrounded by smoke and fire and ash. On the actual field where they were lighting these fireworks, there was just kind of this like red glow because they have all their road flares. That's the only light, is this kind of just eerie red glow. And all you hear is just shoop, boom, shoop, boom. And that's the noise you want to hear, because that means it is launching out of that tube just like it should. If you don't hear a shoop, you might have a problem. During the show, Steve was really acting as kind of the ringleader of the circus, if you will. He was calling out the timing. So between the big bursts of the fireworks, you would hear Steve say, mind you, we all had earplugs in, so he had to be extra loud so that we could actually hear what he was saying. And he was calling out those cues so that everyone could be on track with timing throughout the show. This really was an orchestrated chaos. There was so much happening, so much going on all at once, but everybody knew exactly what they were doing. Everyone knew exactly where they were going, and they hit their marks perfectly. The actual show took a total of 12 minutes, and they were pretty spot on. It was 12 minutes exactly. They know their timing. They know how to shoot the fireworks off in a steady flow so that they get their timing exactly right. So while 12 minutes went by really quickly for me watching the show, for these guys, every second mattered. Watching these fireworks shows from a distance is beautiful, but when you get on the ground level of these shows, it gives you a whole new level of respect for these crews. Getting this close to a fireworks show, you really feel the fireworks. And it's not just like an emotional thing, like I feel how wonderful it is. No, you feel it reverberating through your chest because the fireworks are going off. It's the air pressure around you. There's smoke in the air. It's hot, it's dry. It's a full body experience being this close to fireworks. It's just this whole reverberation for 12 minutes. I kept looking back at the camera and all I could think to say was, oh my God. I think my jaw was dropping the whole time. Bravo! I'm so impressed. This was like a once in a lifetime experience. I am so grateful that I got to have this experience. I did not realize that this was something that should be a bucket list item until after I did it. The adrenaline rush was insane, and it really was an experience I'll never forget. I had so much fun learning all about fireworks shows. I hope you guys enjoyed this video too. If you would like to watch more of our videos, you can click over here. Otherwise, watch all of our videos by subscribing.